Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome everybody to tonight's board meeting, and we'll go ahead and get everything started this evening at 6 o'clock. And I'll ask Mr. Caldwell if he would mind to do the Pledge of Allegiance for us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. And Ms. Crawford, if you don't mind reading the mission statement, please.
Sure. The mission of Clay County Schools is to build high-quality learning environments that ensure all students learn at high levels.
Thank you. And just some announcements. Our next regular board meeting will be August the 22nd. And then we also have a special meeting on August the 8th at 6 o'clock here. And that's to meet with architectural firms for the new intermediate school planning. And then along with that, we did receive an additional $8 million in that grant, which took us to a total of $40 million, which gives us the total amount for that intermediate school. The $40 million was the most we could get for that. So we're excited about that and things to come down the line for there. So next, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the agenda that was emailed to you and that you have in front of you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Crawford, Mr. Jones, second. All in favor? Thank you. And Mr. Overland, you said there were no public comment?
No signs.
Thank you. So we'll start with our recognitions. We have Empower Teen Leadership Summit. Ms. Lori Ross is going to do that.
It's actually not me, it's the
Youth are doing that? Okay.
6 youth events, all of them introduce themselves and speak, and it's representing the coalition.
Okay, super. If you guys don't mind to go to the podium there in the back, please.
One at a time at the podium, yes, sir. Yes.
I'm down right.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Evans.
Hey all, my name is Jacob Christensen.
Get you guys kind of a little closer behind you, because there's a camera out in front there. We want to catch all of you.
Hi, so my name is Lindsay, and so the group, back in April, we went to Charlotte for our Teen Health Connection Summit. So Summit is a group of teenagers from all across North Carolina who come together and discuss ways to combat drug use in high schools, in your cities, with your friends, family, whoever. So we did activities, games, and we made posters learning on how to raise awareness for these issues.
Some of the activities that we done, like one activity we done was we painted a picture of something that was holding us back from preventing us from going further and preventing us from moving forward and encouraging others to be the best that they can be. And another one is we had a poet come in, and then we had to making a picture as to something that related in our life that again was holding us back. And then one thing at the end, we all had a water balloon and we wrote something on it that was something that we wanted to achieve or something that we wanted to break through in our life. And we all, at the end, we smashed it on the ground that night as something that we wanted to get out of our lives or something to push through our lives.
We had many great takeaways from the summit. And part of having a coalition like that, it's got to be led by student leaders such as ourselves. And I gotta say, that summit that we went to was nothing less than a blessing. It was a great experience, and we had many great takeaways. One of the biggest things that I personally took away from it is how to be a better leader and be able to connect with people. Everybody's different. She's different from him, he's different from her, we're all different. We're all unique in our own ways. But sometimes we have to find the similarities amongst us, that way we can effectively communicate and get what we're trying to push forward understood across everybody and all levels of knowledge and experience. So an activity we had is where we determined everybody's interests, their skill levels, and kind of how people act and how they like to get things done. Some people like to do it differently. Some people are maybe more rambunctious and kind of up trying to get it done, or maybe some people are more analytical, kind of sit back, observe, watching things done that way. We're all different. But if we can understand that and understand how other people think, that helps us pave a way much quicker for a future coalition. And on that line, it doesn't end at the summit. The summit is merely just the beginning of what's to come. Later on, we plan to have a coalition here in Clay County led by Hayesville students in order to teach what we learned from the summit and expand upon that and prevent future drug use and help teen and young adults' mental health all across the county and future counties nearby. So this is not the end of something, but the start to something much bigger and much greater.
And it starts tomorrow, our first meeting with the people that we went to the summit with. It's going to be tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
It's great to hear. Very good. Yeah, very nice. Any questions or comments for these young people?
I got a quick one. How much interaction did you have with other students that were attending?
Oh, a lot. We had our own group, about 6-7 people that we sat with at a table, and there was a bunch of those tables. And so after we discussed, we dispersed into other groups and we interacted with other kids, and we made friends and lasting memories with them.
Good.
You guys be willing to come up, shake hands with the board members and take a picture? Thank you. Y'all hang right here. Take a picture right now. Thanks, guys.
Just real quick before I move into my things, I wanted to thank our students again for being willing to participate in activities like this, as well as being able to come up here in public and share what they experienced. We do a lot of work with our staff as well as partnerships in the community to try to reduce drug use as much as we can, not only within our schools and our students, but also in the community at large. And the most powerful factor you can have in order to have success in that work is when the students are the ones that help to drive that thought process. You know, anyone that's ever had teenagers knows that they don't always listen to everything that their parents say. And as adults, you know, we can work extremely hard trying to push that message, but it's never going to be as powerful as positive peer pressure. You know, when their friends at school, when they're pushing them to make better decisions and to think about the decisions that they're going to make, that is the most powerful factor. That's what the research shows. So it takes students being willing to step up and participate in things like that, and then share and lead. So I appreciate you. Great job. Second recognition for tonight, just real short, we had a retirement dinner to celebrate all our retirees earlier this month, and we combined that with our Teacher of the Year celebration as well. And at that meeting, we announced that our 2022 Clay County Teacher of the Year was Ms. Ginger Sherry, who teaches 6th grade social studies for Hayesville Middle School. And she couldn't be here tonight because she is currently taking part in a Go Global North Carolina trip and is in Australia. So I know she's so sad about missing tonight in order to be in Australia, but if you don't follow our district Facebook page, you should. And one of the things you can check out, Ms. Sherry, I think so far has shared about 100 and some pictures, as well as 20 or 30 videos of all the different things she's been doing in Australia with the group of teachers that she's traveling with. So we wish her safe travels and can't wait to see what she brings back to our students from that trip. But I did want to recognize her for the public and for the board tonight. And that's the end of recognitions.
The report section next in the agenda, and we'll start with the response to the homeschooling.
Yes. Yes, members of the board, in your packet, I have placed a copy of a letter, an official letter on district letterhead that I mailed to Mr. Paul Rose. You'll recall that last month during public comment, he, I guess, made the statement that based on his understanding of what he had heard, that Clay County Schools did not allow homeschool students to participate in sports, and asked that I share why that was. Last month, I mean, in the moment, because it was a public comment, that really wasn't the time to address all of that, but I was able to go ahead and write a letter to send to him the next day, and I thought that it might be good to just share the highlights of that letter with the public as well. So I'm not going to read the entire letter, but I did want to share that what Mr. Rose had heard was incorrect. We do allow athletic participation by homeschool students. This was a policy approved by the board last fall. If you move down to where it says number 3, athletic participation by homeschool students on the letter, homeschool students who are dually enrolled in accordance with the school system's enrollment and assignment policies and procedures are eligible to participate in high school interscholastic athletics if they comply with all of the following. First, they must present a homeschool card from the Division of Non-Public Education for the previous and current years, as well as a transcript, attendance record, and record of immunizations. So well, first of all, by law, every student in the state has to attend school. If you're a homeschool student, then your home, whatever school you're attending, has to create an official homeschool. So that involves filling out an application, submitting it to NCDPI, Department of Public Instruction, Division of Non-Public Education. They review the application. If everything is in order, they approve your homeschool. So first of all, you have to be attending a homeschool. When you attend a homeschool, you have to have a record of attendance. So if your mom is your teacher, she's supposed to take your attendance every day. You have to have a transcript of your grades, and you have to have the same immunizations that every other student is required to have. Okay, so that's first. Second, the student must submit proof that the student has been enrolled in a registered homeschool for 365 days prior to participation in athletics. So you have to have been in attendance for a full 365 days in that homeschool. Third, prior to the first date of practice, the student must provide the results of a nationally standardized achievement test taken within the last year that indicates the student was on grade level at the time the test was taken. So there are requirements for homeschools as well, particularly if those students want to participate in sports. Because our students who want to participate in sports have to pass a certain number of their classes. They have to be academically eligible. So this is the academic eligibility requirement for homeschool students. Okay? And that nationally recognized, there are several nationally recognized exams that students can take. For example, the California Achievement Test that we all probably took when we were in school. They still do that one, by the way. Next, the student must participate in a class schedule that is at least one half of the assigned school's instructional day. At least one class must be taken on campus each semester. So they have to have at least 2 at the high school, because you have 4 classes in a semester. They have to be enrolled in at least 2 classes through the school, and one of those has to be on campus, which that could be a CTE course or PE or something like that. The student must pass all of their classes in which the student is enrolled at the assigned school in order to maintain their athletic eligibility. Next, once they are duly enrolled and deemed eligible to participate in athletics, the student must maintain continuous dual enrollment. Failure to maintain continuous dual enrollment would render the student ineligible for athletics for 365 days. That's to keep homeschool students from bouncing around from school district and school to school based on the season. You know, so they think they can be a star at this school in football, they want to attend this school, and then at the end of football season, they want to unenroll and enroll at another high school where they think they can start for basketball and bounce around. Our kids can't do that, and so homeschool students can't do that. Next, the student must notify the principal of the assigned school in writing of the student's intent to try out for the athletic team at least 10 days prior to the first practice date of each sports season in which the student wishes to participate. Failure to comply with this requirement renders the student ineligible for that sports season. That 10 days is to give the principal enough time to gather all of this documentation and verify it. Last, the student must comply with all other applicable North Carolina High School Athletic Association rules and regulations regarding eligibility for athletic participation. So a dually enrolled student who transitions to full enrollment within the school system will then be governed by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association rules and regulations regarding fully enrolled students. So those are the requirements. It is allowed, and this was a policy that the board approved last year. Certainly, if there are any homeschool students that had questions about this, they can reach me by email or by calling my office, and I'd be happy to answer any questions they may have. Does the board have any questions about that?
Any questions or comments for Mr. Cole? No.
And this letter was mailed to Mr. Rose the day after last month's board meeting, and so I've spoken with him since. So he was very glad to get this.
Thank you for that. Next, we have a maintenance project update.
Yes, you also have in your packet a handout that says maintenance projects, and it's a lot. I'm not going to read all of these. We're going to hit the highlights. Mr. Livers is here in case the board, or specifically Mr. Jones, chooses to ask me some questions about maintenance that I can't answer. So just the big jobs that I would say are going on right now is we are putting down brand new floors in the elementary school in all of the classrooms in order to replace all of the carpet there. We're replacing all of the ceiling tiles in the elementary school as well with ceiling tiles that are not porous. They're sealed, much like these, so that when they get dirty or germy or anything else, you can just spray them down and wipe them down and clean them. Whereas porous ceiling tiles you can't clean. And they last up to 3 times longer than the typical ceiling tiles that you would buy. The floors that we're putting down are LVP tile. They do not require stripping and waxing every year, and they can be cleaned by our floor machines, which makes it a lot cheaper to clean and maintain, a lot less time used by the custodians to make that happen, and the warranty on those floors is twice as long as tile like this. So we're also doing that in the pods as well as the back 2 trailers that we use for classrooms.
That's the same we're using in the middle school?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little darker gray color, but it's the same tile.
Material.
Yes, yes. So that's a big job that we're doing right now. Let's see. In the field house football stadium, we've replaced the HVAC unit for the ground floor. We painted the locker rooms. We repaired the ceiling in the restrooms at the concession stand. We will be installing a new concrete discus pad at the end of the football field this fall before track starts. We will also be replacing the fencing around the football field because the current one has fallen down in places and is unsafe. It's rusted apart at the bottom where it slides into the concrete. So we're going to pull all that fencing down. We're going to bore it out and replace it with new fencing, black fencing. That'll also be happening pretty soon. At the high school, we're still in the process of painting the interior of the building, the entire interior in white. One big job we had planned was we wanted to relocate the HVAC units in the Hayesville High School gym to the exterior of the building on the roof. And the reason why, one, it seems like every summer when we get the floors refinished, at some point when we don't have people in the gym because they're on vacation or that kind of thing, something breaks on the HVAC unit and dumps a few gallons of water on the floor that has been just refinished and ruins it, and we have to get that section refinished again. That happened last summer, and it just happened again this summer. Also, because we don't have an auditorium, like a I guess more of a performing arts center for the high school. They tend to have their big events in the gym. And when the AC unit kicks on in the gym, it makes it very hard to hear. The acoustics are not very good in a gym, like they would be in a performing arts center. However, in investigating how much it would cost to do this, for some reason NCDPI is requiring us to treat these athletic funds that we got. So we got $102,000 from the state specific for athletic facilities, refurbishment or new facilities. And they are treating those funds the same way that they do needs-based grant funds, like if you were building a school. So in order to relocate those HVAC units to the roof of the gym, we have to get engineers' drawings in order to make that happen. That alone is $25,000. And then the units themselves and the labor is going to take the cost up to just short of $200,000. And so at this time, I just don't know that the bang for the buck is there for that amount of money. Because if we can build a performing arts center as part of the new school that everyone can use, then we'll no longer need to do events at the high school in the gym. We can do them in the Performing Arts Center. And we are in the process of installing some big drip pans underneath those HVAC units that will hold the water that they've released if they break in the future in the summertime. So hopefully that's going to protect our gym floors and keep them from getting the finish ruined during the summer like this happened the past couple of summers. So that's a project that we're working on currently. We're also installing a third scoreboard in the gym. So we have the big one in the middle and one at each end. We are changing the compressor on the roof. We're replacing ceiling tiles as needed. Another big project is that we're going to be digging up the traffic circle in front of the high school this month and re-asphalting that circle, so and relining it. So that's going to be a pretty big project for us as well. The middle school is mainly just smaller jobs. The elementary school, I covered the flooring and the ceiling tiles, but we're also installing an awning around the traffic circle at the elementary school, because in the mornings and the afternoons, it takes about 15 or 20 minutes for the teachers to get the students out of the cars and into the cars at the traffic circle. And for whatever reason in Hayesville, it seems to rain at least half the days of the week right at 3 o'clock. And the teachers are out there in the rain trying to make that happen. So we're installing an awning around the circle so that they no longer have to stand out in the rain. So I know they're going to appreciate that. So that's a pretty big job for us. And I think those are the highlights. Obviously, the maintenance team is working on a lot of other things that you can check out. We will also be pressure washing all of the front entrances of our buildings, as well as the entire high school and the high school gym, the exterior of it. It's just got a lot of mold and mildew on the outside of the bricks, so we're going to pressure wash all of that and get that on a rotation each summer. So next summer we'll probably do the elementary school or the middle school, and we'll just rotate it. But the high school needs it the most right now. Mr. Jones, you got any maintenance questions for us?
Yes, I do. This probably needs to go to Stephen. The options on the air condition up there, and are there any other options that where you can put it besides on the roof of the gymnasium?
Unfortunately, no. But now the roof is equipped to handle anything we do. I've done a background on it, and we had the architects agree, and the engineers agree that we
Put you on camera right
they agreed with me that in the future, if we're ever able to do that, we can. But the good thing is a lot of our equipment nowadays is 3 times more efficient. They're 3 times quieter, and we don't have near the issues. So, but when I do this, is we're looking at doing heat pumps instead of doing chilled water, so that way we won't have no water problems again. that was a no-no to begin with. That's just my opinion. But we do have some backups for that. We just, when one goes out, we replace it with a heat pump. No more worries.
So you're saying that the new stuff will be quieter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you can even hear your own self thinking.
No. And it's been a problem since construction, you know. But we got some plans in place for backup because considering the situation we're dealing with there.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we've had a couple of situations where water pipes in the walls have corroded and busted when we haven't been here. Of course, it happened overnight, so then we show up and find a classroom that's got 6 inches of water in the bottom of it, and we have to bust a hole in the wall to get to and find the problem and fix it. So, you know, we're concerned about the high school, the water pipes in the walls. So what we want to do is eliminate that problem by moving to heat pumps so that we no longer have to pump water through the walls. And we can just cut that water off, leave those pipes alone, and we don't have to worry about them. So that's kind of the goal. And we've been working on replacing all of our HVAC units. Obviously, we're down one in this building. I think there's one that runs that side of the building and one that runs this side. So, of course, it was the one on this side that went out, but we're waiting on parts, which is an adventure these days. But
Any other questions or comments? Very good. Thank you for that update. Appreciate that.
right.
Next, we have the 2022 Teacher Working Condition Survey.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to request real quick. Could we take maybe a 5-minute break?
Okay.
Like recess for 5 minutes. It sounds like our Facebook Live feed is going to drop and we got to reset.
Okay.
Would that be okay?
That'll be fine.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
We're going to